Hey, welcome back to a new video. Pythons are a group of snakes that includes some of the largest species in the world. Despite being non-venomous, they can kill their prey by either squeezing tightly with their powerful bodies or swallowing them whole. Today, we'll examine 10 python attacks on humans that resulted in fatalities, and be sure to stick around until the end for tips to prevent this incident from happening to you. Are you new to this channel? I really appreciate you subscribing and hitting the notification bell. Number 1. Student zookeeper crushed by python. In Venezuela, a tragic incident occurred at the Caracas Zoo where a 29-year-old student zookeeper named Eric Arrieta was killed by a 3-meter, 10-foot, Burmese python. Burmese pythons have the ability to grow beyond 23 feet in length and weigh over 200 pounds. They are also capable of exerting a force of 6.23 pounds per square inch when squeezing their prey. Going back, Arrieta was working alone during a night shift in the reptile section when he broke zoo rules by letting the python out of its enclosure. The co-workers discovered the snake trying to swallow Arrieta's head and managed to beat the snake to make it release his body. Marks on his left wrist indicated that the snake had bitten him before crushing him to death. The python, which was donated to the zoo 2 months prior, was not on public display. The zoo officials mentioned that Arrieta underestimated the animal's instincts, leading to the tragic outcome. Number 2. Snake owner killed by his pet rock python. According to an inquest, a 31-year-old snake owner named Daniel Brandon was killed by his 8 feet (2.4 meters) pet python, which he affectionately called Tiny. Daniel died from asphyxiation at his home near Basingstoke, Hampshire. The female African rock python was found near his body outside its pen. The coroner, Andrew Bradley, concluded that Mr. Brandon's death was the result of contact with the python and recorded a verdict of misadventure. Daniel had been keeping snakes for 16 years, and Tiny was one of the 10 snakes and 12 tarantulas he had in his room at his family home. Despite being aware of its strength, Daniel never felt threatened by Tiny, although there were instances when the snake would strike out if someone entered the room. On the night of his death, Daniel's mother heard a noise from his room but didn't think much of it at the time. Later, she discovered her son unconscious in his bedroom, and the snake was found coiled under a cabinet. Number 3. Woman found dead strangled by reticulated python. In Oxford, Indiana, a 36-year-old mother of 2, Laura Hurst, was tragically killed by an 8-foot reticulated python in a home filled with 140 snakes. The python was found loosely wrapped around her neck when she was discovered. An autopsy confirmed the cause of death as strangulation. Laura owned about 20 of the snakes in the house, which is located in Battleground, Indiana. The house, designed for keeping snakes, was visited by Laura about twice a week, and no one lived there. The snake responsible for the attack had apparently been taken out of its enclosure. When the police arrived at the scene after a call, the other snakes in the house remained in their cages. Number 4. Hiking teenager ambushed by wild python. 5 teenage boys went hiking in the jungle in South Sulawesi, Indonesia. During the hike, one of the boys, Alifan, was attacked and strangled by a large wild python. Despite the efforts of his friends and villagers, they couldn't save him, and the snake was killed during the rescue attempt. The incident occurred in the Nantanuna district of Bamana Regency, where the group had planned to hike to a jungle waterfall. Alifan was bitten by the python while he was ahead of his friends and couldn't escape the snake's grip. His friends tried to free him, but tragically, Alifan passed away from the python's constriction. 2 other boys were also bitten by the snake but received medical treatment for their injuries. If fully grown adults are not safe from their attack, make sure your kids don't wander around alone in areas where pythons live, including your home, as they are more vulnerable to becoming prey for these snakes, as happened in the next incident. Number 5. Brothers in Canada strangled by rock python. 2 Canadian boys, Noah Barth, 4 years old, and Connor Barth, 6 years old, were found dead after being strangled by a 100-pound rock python in an apartment in New Brunswick, Canada. The rock python has the potential to reach lengths ranging from 20 to 30 feet and can weigh up to 250 pounds. Additionally, it can apply a maximum pressure of 25 pounds per square inch. Going back, the python apparently escaped from its enclosure, made its way through the ventilation system, and fell through the ceiling into the room where the brothers were sleeping. The snake belonged to the father of a friend who owned an exotic pet store below the apartment. The snake was killed by a veterinarian, and investigations are ongoing to determine the cause of the attack. The boys had been playing with other animals earlier in the day, and experts speculate that their scent might have attracted the snake. The pet store owner claimed that the python had been kept alone and not handled by anyone else, but reports suggest that it may have escaped its enclosure before. The incident has raised concerns about the proper handling of exotic animals and safety regulations in the area. Number 6. Girl toddler strangled by Burmese python. In Bushnell, Florida, a 2-year-old girl named Cheyenne Hare was tragically strangled to death by a nearly 9-foot Burmese python named Gypsy that escaped from its aquarium. The python belonged to the mother's boyfriend, who did not have a state license to keep the snake. The owner discovered the snake missing from its enclosure in the morning, and upon entering the child's room, found the snake on top of the baby. In an attempt to save the child, the owner stabbed the snake. Despite emergency responders' efforts, the girl was pronounced dead at the scene. The python managed to slither away after being stabbed and was last seen under the baby's dresser. Number 7. Indonesian man partly swallowed by reticulated python. In Malaysia, a massive 23-foot-long, 7 meters, reticulated python attacked and killed a 29-year-old rubber tapper named Yi Hung Chuan. Yi was attacked by the snake while he was outside his house trying to start a generator. The python coiled around him, squeezing him to death, and then partially swallowed his body. Yi's mother, Lim Simwa, became concerned when he didn't return home, and his older brother, Yi Hung Huan, discovered the python with their brother's partially consumed body. Hung Huan sought help from the nearby police station, where officers used M16 rifles to stop the python from completely consuming the victim. They killed the snake to save Yi's remains. The zoologist described this python as one of the largest he had encountered in Malaysia. Number 8. Indonesian woman swallowed by giant python. A woman named Jara, in her 50s, went missing after leaving for work at a rubber plantation in Sumatra, Indonesia. Her husband reported her disappearance when she didn't return home, and her belongings were found near the plantation. The police found and killed a 7-meter python near the area the next morning. Inside the snake's stomach, they discovered Jara's body, mostly intact. Officials believe she may have been hunted by the python as prey, as pythons use constriction to suffocate their typically smaller prey. Number 9. Missing Indonesian woman swallowed by reticulated python. In central Indonesia, a 7-meter-long, 23-foot-long, reticulated python swallowed a 54-year-old woman named Watiba. The reticulated python holds the title of the world's longest snake and is also one of the 3 heaviest snakes known. It can reach lengths of up to 23 feet and weigh as much as 75 kilograms. Furthermore, these pythons possess the ability to constrict their prey with an impressive force of up to 90 pounds per square inch. Going back, she had gone missing while checking her cornfield near her village on Muna Island in southeast Sulawesi province. Her family and villagers found the snake with a bloated belly not far from where her belongings were discovered. They killed the snake, and upon cutting it open, they tragically found Tiba's body still intact, with all her clothes. The woman's garden is located in a rocky area with caves and cliffs believed to be inhabited by numerous snakes. Number 10. Indonesian farmer swallowed whole by reticulated python. A 25-year-old man named Akbar Salyabiro, who had gone missing on the Indonesian island of Sulawesi, was discovered inside a huge python. The villagers found the 23-foot-long reticulated python and suspected that it might have eaten Akbar, who failed to return after harvesting palm oil. They decided to cut open the python and tragically found Akbar's body inside. Prior to this discovery, villagers had found some of Akbar's belongings at the scene. A video of the incident, where people cut open the snake at night, was shared online, showing Akbar's intact body inside the python. Things to avoid when encountering pythons. Walking blindly through dense vegetation, pythons have a net-like pattern on their back that helps them blend into the surroundings, making them difficult to spot while you're moving through the forest. Getting bitten, pythons have many sharp, backward-facing teeth that make it challenging for their prey to escape. Even a small python's bite can cause nerve damage, so it's crucial to avoid getting bitten. Allowing the snake to wrap around you. After the bite, the python will quickly coil around you, constricting and squeezing you. It's vital to prevent the snake from wrapping around you to avoid serious harm. Wandering alone, it's best to have a companion with you in the wild, especially when dealing with constrictors like pythons. A friend can help you if you get caught or bitten by the snake, which could be life-saving. Carrying a stick or blade. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation with a python, having a sharp object, like a stick or blade, can be helpful. It can be used to try to free yourself from the snake's coils and increase your chances of escape. How to survive an encounter with a constrictor. If you find yourself in a dangerous situation with a constrictor snake wrapping around you, there are some things you can do to increase your chances of getting out safely. Don't let it wrap you up. Try to keep your hands and arms free and work quickly to remove the coils of the snake from around your body. Control the head. If you have a friend with you, they can grab the snake's head while you focus on unwrapping the coils to loosen its grip. Act decisively. If you are alone and attacked, you must take action to free yourself. Be aware that the more you struggle, the tighter the snake may squeeze due to its natural instincts. Use a sharp object. If you have a knife or a sharp stick, use it to cut or pry the snake's coils away from your body. It's essential to act quickly. Be prepared. Carrying a sharp object can be helpful in emergencies. You can attach it to your wrist or neck with a lanyard to prevent dropping it during a struggle. Use mouthwash or alcohol. If you happen to have mouthwash or alcohol with you, you could try splashing it on the snake's face and mouth. Snakes dislike the strong smell and taste, which might make them release their grip. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.